built house for thee. Follow the sound to reach what's meant for you. I will show you where to search.
Out of the blue, I was sent a Discord message asking me to check out a YouTube channel. Clicking on the link led me to a channel called SpecularPhera, which had a good amount of videos on it. However, I had no idea that I would be uncovering their dark secret and a twisted journey that lets us decide how this story ends. Our journey to SpecularPhera begins when we click on the first video titled Stupid Minecraft Glitch. The video begins with a message from SpecularPhera, who I'll call Phera in this video. It reads, "I'm going to show you guys a glitch since my friend doesn't know anything." Phera joins a world that seems like they've made some progress in, and they head over to the strange area that seems to be missing blocks and has odd shadow texture glitches. Phera says they don't know why this keeps happening and that it all goes dark and they have no clue why. They also say they lag and lose frames around this area. They don't know how to fix it, but ask us, the audience, if we happen to know how to fix it. Phera seems to be heading back home, but then we see a message appear on screen that reads, "I tried placing the wool and it crashed." The video ends as we see the small Minecraft crash log and Phera calling it stupid. The description of the video reads, "I don't know why this keeps happening to my game. It's stupid and dumb. Tell me how to fix it. It's annoying. I made the video for a friend, but they're dumb." Something of note in the description that we see is a date, January 2024. So this seems to take place in the past, close to 2 years ago now. I do think it's an odd glitch that we're shown. As for what's causing it, we don't currently know. It is interesting that there's a mention of a friend a few times in this video, and we'll make note of this detail for now. All we can really do is keep watching the videos as we click on the next video titled, It's Still Broken. The video begins with Phera standing on a block of wool, seeming to be the one they placed down when the game crashed. They break the wool block and head back home, and we cut to black for a bit before we see them wandering around outside a bit. As they're running around, we see another area with this glitch, and Phera asks why one is way out here. They fight off the mobs and almost die to a creeper. Then Phera asks why they got the Monster Hunter advancement twice, which is interesting as the shadow glitches could be affecting the game more than we thought. Phera looks around the nearby village, kills a lot of animals. Then Phera does something odd. It seems like they think about it for a while and then out of nowhere just decide to kill a villager. As they do this, we see the screen start to have some static on it, and a tone plays faintly in the background as they murder the villager. Phera then hits an iron golem and builds up to stop it from attacking, and as Phera hits the iron golem more, we see the game crashes, and the video ends with the message from Phera. "My game is still crashing and glitching. Now all my stuff is gone." The description of the video reads, "I don't know what to do. I'm mad and now all my items are gone." We see another date as well, January 2024. So again, this seems to be recorded in the past. It seems that the shadow glitches we see are spreading and having effects on the game, such as getting advancements again and still experiencing crashes with more severe consequences this time around. What I'm not too sure about is why Phera kills the villager after thinking it over for a while, as it seems to be more important with the static and faint tone hum we hear as they do this. With this information in mind, we click on the next video titled, Done with the Game. The video starts off strong with a caption that simply reads, language. It took me a second to understand what this meant, but if we go into settings, we see that for subtitles and closed captions, there's actually 2 languages that we can view the captions in, English and Klingon. Switching to the Klingon language, we see that the caption changes to an Imgur link. We'll check this out in the analysis portion, but let's get through the video first. Phera walks around their house a bit, but then at around 31 seconds into the video, we hear what sounds like a bell. Phera then continues wandering around and kills some animals, but at 2 minutes 39 seconds, we see what appears to be a red screen with the word greed on it, and a strange black box off to the left. Then we see that Phera lets us know that they're done playing Minecraft until the glitch gets fixed. The video ends as Phera goes back home and says bye. The description of the video reads, "It's dumb, so I quit." We also see that this video was recorded in February of 2024. The red screen we saw earlier was a bit odd, as it could be referring to Phera being greedy in some way. Going back to the Imgur link, when we copy and paste the link, we're taken to a very strange image. It almost looks like some sort of star, maybe an eye of some kind. We'll say that it's a symbol for now. We don't really know what it is, but what's even more interesting is the text on the left. This is the end portion of a YouTube URL, so if we enter it into a browser, we're taken to an unlisted video titled Location. The video begins with us seeing the strange symbol appear on screen, but then we see that it seems to be talking. The messages read as follows.
"Daughter, the built house for thee. Follow the sound to reach what's meant for you. I will show you where to search."
We then see some sort of figure standing while it's snowing around them. It could be a Minecraft skin of some kind, but it's hard to tell what exactly we're looking at. We then cut to VR Minecraft, where we can see that we're inside of Phera's world. They look around, head to the shadow glitch area, then head back home. The video ends as Phera heads outside and we get jump scared by the creeper. The description of the video reads, "Dreaming things is new to me. February 2024. It's interesting that there's explicit mention of dreaming. While we still don't know what exactly this symbol is supposed to be, it could be an entity of some sort as it seems to be talking to Phera. The bell tolls for thee line doesn't seem to be a coincidence, as we did hear a bell ring in the last video. This phrase usually means that death comes for us all eventually, so could something be happening to Phera in the upcoming videos that may lead to this? Based on the description, this seems to be a dream, but there's a reason why this dream is here, with more questions that need answers. All we can do is keep watching the videos as we click on the next video titled, Back Exploring Caves. The video begins with Phera back in the world. They start to head in the direction of the first glitch we saw, but they say something interesting. I waited a year and it's still broken. 2 actually, almost. So it's been almost 2 years since they touched this game. We'll try to confirm this a bit later. Phera looks at the glitch area and heads into a cave behind it. A creeper blows up, but then we see quick flashing red text and then a caption. The red text says sins, and then we see what appears to be a Google Docs link. I tried this already, but it seemed to be a broken link, which is where the captions come into play. We see that it's a Google Docs link, which does work, just written backwards, and we'll come back to this a bit later. Phera continues exploring the cave a bit, but they find a way out and make their way over to a nearby village. They seem to spot another glitched area and go to check it out. Phera wonders just how many of these there are. They explore the surrounding area a bit before spotting a weird mountain in the distance. They then spot a giant hole in the side of a mountain nearby. But this is where things take a weird turn. As they head inside of it, we cut to black. They were jump scared by a few images of a white figure in the darkness, which looks like it only has one arm. It almost looks like an extremely distorted version of Phera's skin, but it's a bit hard to say for sure. The next image shows the white figure with what seems to be a very creepy smile. The next figure shows the white figure with their right arm in a very odd position, and overall just looking very odd. The final image is a bit of an odd one, as it almost seems like part of the white figure is much closer to us, almost like their arm was ripped off possibly. The video ends as we're then given a link to a YouTube video. The description reads, "Still broken, but whatever. December 2025. So it really has been almost 2 years since they last played Minecraft. It is a bit odd the bug is still happening, but there's a few interesting things that we need to look deeper at. First up, the Google Docs link. If we reverse it and put it into a browser, we're taken to a document titled 2024 February. We see there's 2 tabs, and the first page has some text for us. Hey, this is Thyma. I wanted to go over how bad of a person Phera is and how she is very greedy, rude, and threatens people all the time. She always gets what she wants, when she wants it, no matter what. She's super egotistical and often wishes death upon me and others. She made all my friends leave me with rumors, so I'm making this. Hopefully she doesn't find it because I know she will literally do anything without any hesitation." The next page has a Discord conversation between Phera and Thyma, which reads as follows. "I feel very good today. How so? I just feel very proud of myself. I feel above all. Question mark? Yeah, that's weird to just say, but okay, lol. What's that supposed to mean? Am I weird to you? Huh? No? Okay, whatever." Tab 2 of the document then starts off with some interesting information. It's March 4th, 2024. She found this but doesn't seem angry anymore. She wants to go hang out, probably to talk, so I'll update this after. And then we see a rather aggressive conversation taking place in Discord between Phera and Thyma, which reads, "You fucking asshole, question mark. You fucking lie. You say these false statements about me. Now rumors spread like fire. Huh? Is this about me not knowing how to fix your Minecraft? No, dumbass. You, question mark. Sorry. I am calmed. Okay. Let's hang out. Okay. Where? At 12 p.m. Okay. Based on everything we read, it seems like Thyma is the friend that Phera mentioned. However, according to Thyma, it doesn't seem like Phera is the best person. Phera does seem very confrontational over trivial matters in the Discord messages, so I believe there's some truth to what Thyma is saying, but it also seems like Thyma could also be spreading rumors and false statements about Phera based on this line here. There's an obvious connection between Thyma saying Phera is greedy and the word greed appearing in red text in a previous video. I am a bit shocked that Thyma saying Phera wishes death upon her and others, and the pairing of the bell that we heard and the entity saying that the bell tolls for thee. I'm getting a very bad feeling that this won't end well. It is interesting that the word sins is connected to this document as well, as it seems to be outlining the sins of Phera in a sense. What's a bit concerning to me is that this document was never updated after their real-life conversation, so it begs the question, what happened between Thyma and Phera? The document doesn't seem to contain any more information on it, so let's move on. Next up is a YouTube URL that we have at the end of the video. If we paste this into a web browser, we're taken to an unlisted video titled, Found It. The video begins with what appears to be Phera in VR Minecraft, running away from someone or something. She looks at her arm. Wait, her arm looks like it was literally ripped off. Was that white figure from earlier Phera then? How did her arm get ripped off? Did Thyma do this? There's too many questions that can be asked just based on what we see here, but we need to keep watching. As Phera is running, we cut to black, and then we open on a snow biome, and Phera appears to be holding something that resembles a torch. Phera comes across an odd-looking structure that's made up of blocks such as cobblestone, gold, raw gold, and redstone. Phera approaches it slowly, inspecting the structure a bit. We then see something flash on screen.
A gift for you, my child.
We then see that Phera has a new arm, and Phera looks inside of the pitch black hole. Phera then takes the plunge into the darkness. As they fall, we see what looks like figures holding crossbows for a very brief moment, and the video ends when Phera lands in some water. The description of the video reads, "I'm in so much pain, I don't understand what's going on. December 2025. The date is important to note since it doesn't seem like Phera getting their arm ripped off was the result of them meeting in real life, as that happened back on March 4th, 2024, although it's not out of the realm of possibility that Thyma could have done this. The question of how Phera got their arm ripped off is a big one, and it does seem like we have an entity that is trying to help Phera as they gifted Phera with a new arm. But what exactly was the structure that we see? It could be something related to the entity, but we simply just don't have enough information. With these questions and new information, we click on the next video titled, Arrived. The video begins as we hear bells ringing and Phera making their way out of the water as we hear them drowning. We then cut and we see that Phera is in what appears to be an oddly generated cave, which is massive. Phera then makes an interesting statement. "Glad I got all this random shit when I fell into here." Is the entity trying to help Phera again, or did someone fall into this place before Phera? We simply don't know, but it is interesting that Phera mentions this. We also notice that it's snowing as well. Phera wanders around for a good while, making use of the boat to travel across water, until Phera says, "I don't know what I'm supposed to find here." Recalling what the entity said before, it does seem like Phera is supposed to search for something, but it seems even they don't know. They continue to wander around until they stumble upon what looks like purple water. As we get closer, we actually see some red water as well, and Phera questions the red water. Phera goes inside of the water and we see that it's a purple color. They continue wandering, then ask if the purple biome is even real, which is a good question. Phera keeps wondering, but eventually they get jumped by 4 skeletons. As she's about to die from a skeleton, text flashes on screen. "She doesn't deserve forgiveness from you." And the video ends as we then see what looks like a symbol entity appear on screen with the text that reads,
"Everyone does, my love."
The description of the video reads, "I don't know what I'm supposed to find here, nor what it is. December 2025. It's a good question as we're not really sure what Phera is supposed to find in this weird place. We're not sure if someone has been here before as Phera picked up some stuff after falling into the water, or if the entity is once again helping Phera in some way. The red and purple water is interesting, and the red water almost looks as if blood was spilled in the water, although we can't confirm this as of now. But what interests me the most is the text that says, "She doesn't deserve forgiveness from you." I think this is Phera talking to the entity in some strange way. As the entity responds with, "Everyone does, my love," it seems like there's an exchange between Phera and the entity, but assuming Phera is the she mentioned, then who exactly is saying this line? There's something in Phera's YouTube channel description that could potentially back this idea as well. Checking out the channel description, we see that they ask us to play a game they made, and there's a website link for us to follow. Following this link takes us to a website which appears to have a very simple game for us to play. All we really see is a bunny rabbit, and using the up and down arrow keys, we can move the bunny up and down. However, after a bit of time, we see that the background changes to a yellow color, and if we wait some more, we actually end up seeing an image of the symbol entity with the words "my love" written on it. The bunny is supposed to represent Phera, and I don't think it's a coincidence with this entity calling the bunny "my love" in this game, as well as in the video. With this knowledge, we click on the next video titled, "I think I'm close." The video begins with 34 seconds of darkness. Then we cut to Phera looking at some red water. We see they said something according to the chat history, which reads, "I woke up and traveled here." It's very interesting, as it could be Phera waking up after being jumped by the skeletons and somehow traveling back to this area. Phera gets in a boat and starts sailing, stating that they feel like they're getting closer. Phera stumbles upon a strange biome with red water, a red sky, and very odd-looking grass. At 2 minutes 29 seconds, we see the symbol entity appear and say,
"It's okay, my daughter. Sometimes we must blindly follow our hearts. I forgive you both, but this must be settled soon."
We then come back to Phera, who seems to have found an iron helmet. Phera keeps wandering, and they stumble upon a rest spot. It also seems like they've done a bit, as we see some more advancements like getting iron tools and finding diamonds, questioning what something was aiming at, and Phera also seems to have run out of food. The video ends as we see a YouTube link appear on screen and in the captions, and a haunting message in red. "In your dreams, I watch you. In mine, you're dead." The description of the video reads, "I still don't know what exactly it is. January 2026. I'm assuming that phera means they still don't know what exactly they're looking for and seem to be blindly following their heart as the entity mentioned. The entity also said something very interesting, but this must be settled soon. What exactly needs to be settled? The battle between phera and whatever ripped her arm off. It's possible, but it's very vague about what exactly needs to be settled. The ending is very interesting, as it seems that the message seems tied into the YouTube URL that we're shown. When we enter the URL on a browser, we're taken to an unlisted video titled Nightmares. The video begins with someone saying phera's name. Phera asks, "Hello?" A mystery voice responds with,
"What you're doing is foolish. You should leave now."
We then see the chat and we see that all the messages we just heard are coming from phera themselves. Phera then asks Thyma, but the response we get to this is horrific.
"How could I be Thyma? You cut him open and ate his guts. I was simply the first leaf to grow on your disgusting tree."
During this, we see a bunny rabbit looking shocked, with the following text appearing. "They can't know. How do they? It's okay because I've changed, right? Why do they have my username even? I'm in hell. Is this for my sins? Please forgive me, whatever divine spirit is out there. I truly have changed. I wish I could right my wrongs. Don't punish me like this. Don't lock me in the game. Hide and seek was never my favorite. I don't want to do this anymore. Who are they? Who are they? Who are they? Who are they? Who are they?" We see the entire chat once more, and phera asks the question, "Then who?" The mystery voice responds,
"It doesn't matter who I am. Just know I will be the one to deliver justice to you. Just make it simple and turn back now. When you're home, turn yourself in."
The video ends as the rabbit glitches out. What phera did to Thyma is horrific and brutal, and it explains why that document Thyma made was never updated, because phera killed Thyma and committed cannibalism. There doesn't seem to be immediate confirmation of this, but phera seems to essentially confirm this by asking how the mystery voice knows what they did. As for the mystery voice, the biggest question is who this is, and I have to wonder if it's phera's guilty conscience speaking here. I don't think it's a coincidence that when they speak, they have the same username as phera, and they talk about getting justice and phera turning themselves in, which is something that those with a guilty conscience sometimes will do if they can't seem to take it anymore. As this is speculation as of now, all we can do for now is keep watching the videos as we click on the next video titled, "Getting Bored, I Just Want to Find It." The video begins with distorted footage of a bell ringing and the words reading, "I'm waiting," on screen. We also see the captions appear on screen at about the 6-second mark, which we'll analyze in a moment. We then cut to phera back in the strange world, noting a dark biome ahead, but wanting to explore what's up top. They make their way up and come across melons, which seems to be the first bit of food they've had for a while. One thing I did note is that we haven't really seen any animals in the strange world whatsoever, which I don't think is a coincidence. Phera starts to make their way to the top, but at 3 minutes 53 seconds, we're met with a very dark screen, but we can see something is there. Looking closely, we can see what appears to be some text and that strange symbol entity again. Phera keeps making their way topside, and eventually, they're met with another strange area. We then see the strange dark image again, appearing to be the exact same as before at 6 minutes 6 seconds. Phera is making their way through the strange flat area. They come across a beehive for a moment, very cool Plo J33 reference there, then continue onwards. They keep wandering around this strangely generated terrain until we see the strange dark image once again at 7 minutes 51 seconds. Phera keeps wandering, but they come across a swamp biome, and instead of going through it, they decide to go back underground. Eventually, after wandering more, Phera asks if what they're searching for will be above or below them, as we still don't know what exactly they're searching for. It's a valid question to ask now that we've seen the surface of this world as well. The video ends as they come across a strange hole in the water below them. The description of the video just has the date, January 2026. It seems that this is mainly more exploration and trying to search for whatever the entity wants them to search for. The two main things are the captions and the dark images that we see throughout the video. Starting with the dark image, we can see that it has the image of the entity, as well as the strange text on screen. It actually matches the captions that we saw in the video, and these captions appear to be a YouTube URL end portion, as there's 11 characters on it. When we put this into a browser, we're taken to an unlisted video titled, Exploring Even More. The video begins with Phera jumping into the strange hole. They continue to wander around for most of the video, still searching for whatever it is that they need to find. Eventually, they stumble across a broken portal but end up having to fight a lot of mobs. They begin making repairs to it by mining some nearby obsidian, and they create another portal. They light it and enter the portal. The video ends as we see some text on screen right as they teleport. The description only has a date of January 2026 once again, And this video really didn't have too much going on except for finding the broken down portal. Was this the thing they're meant to find? We don't quite know, as there's no indication of this being what they were searching for, but the text we're given on screen is actually the end portion of a YouTube URL. So by putting it into a web browser, we're taken to an unlisted video titled, I Get It. The video begins with Phera teleporting into the Nether. The footage is oddly zoomed in, as we can't see what's in Phera's hotbar. However, we do see that she picked up some new gold boots. She wanders around the Nether for a bit before making another portal, and it seems like she was using it to travel longer distances quicker. She teleports, and she's back in the strange world, and the footage is no longer zoomed in. She continues wandering, and to our surprise, she stumbles onto a village. She checks it out but doesn't seem to find much. She rings the bell, but then we hear another sound. She rings it again, and then leaves the village. Phera begins heading up to the surface again, and when they do, things start to get a bit strange. The footage starts to get a bit corrupted as we start to see some film grain on it, and everything starts to look a bit dark. Phera is surrounded by a very flat, very snowy place that seems to go for miles. We cut, and we see they're still wandering as the sun sets. Then we fade to black, and we see a very strange clip, which I'll play for you now.
I never understood how all can be loved and forgiven. I always thought an eye for an eye was more fitting. I know in true justice God never want, so I will deliver it here and now. Yet, look in your eyes. Phera, you should listen to me and not let false God. Now I must give you the favor of mine. I'm going to enjoy slowly ending your life with my bare hands.
We see the symbol entity say,
A gift for you, my child.
and then we see something very interesting. We see a glowing sword, which seems to be the gift the entity is giving to Phera. Then we see 3 different texts. The video ends as we stare at the sword and the text on screen. This was a very interesting video. It seems like Phera is finally confronting the mystery entity that thinks it's bringing true justice that God never wanted. It is interesting, as this mystery entity does look like a rabbit that was turned into an entity of some kind, possibly a very deformed version of Phera. I still wonder if this is Phera's guilty conscience personified as a messed up version of the justice that Phera seems to deserve, despite the symbol entity appearing in her eye, who appears to love her and forgive her despite doing what she did. The symbol entity seems to gift Phera a sword, and the text that we see on screen are actually YouTube URL in pieces, so it seems that we have 3 different videos that we can go to. This is something I'm observing before going to these videos, but the coloring of the text seems to hold significance. I believe the yellow color could be representing something to do with the symbol entity, the red text could hold some significance to the bunny entity, and the white text could be something to do with Phera. Wondering what these 3 videos could lead to, we start with the yellow text. Putting this text into the browser leads to an unlisted video titled, Divinity and the Will to Be. The video begins with what appears to be nearing the end of the battle between Phera and her entity counterpart. We see that Phera is being held up in the air, but the entity looks like it's been injured on the side. After a couple moments, it looks like the entity takes the final blow as they vanish. Then we hear the entity speaking.
How is this possible? You can't just kill another form of yourself, you. I was defeated by a mere intruder of my own body. You.
We then open to the snowy Minecraft flat area, with what appears to be the entity laying in the snow. It gets very pixelated as the video goes on, then turns a dark red, and we fade into the symbol entity which says,
You've done a fabulous job, love.
and the video ends as we see something extremely interesting. 1 out of 4. The description of the video reads, It's over. January 2026. So there's 1 out of 4 possible endings. This is very interesting. This must mean that the other 2 videos are endings of some kind. The ending we just saw appears to be an ending where Phera is able to defeat the entity and receives praise from the symbol entity. I want to believe this is the good ending that we see here. But let's see about the other 2 endings that we have here, with what seems to be a 4th secret ending somewhere. We'll choose the white text this time, and by putting it into a browser, we're taken to an unlisted video titled, Patience, though who will bring your wishes but you? We begin the video with Phera seeming to just walk away from the entity. We hear the entity say the following as they do this.
Wait. Where are you going? You can't just turn away. This isn't how our paths separated. You. Go on. You can't just let this all go to waste. Go on. Sir, I mean anything. You.
The sound of the entity goes away, and we fade to black. We then open up on Phera back in their previous world. As they make their way back home, Phera heads inside and goes to sleep. We fade to black again, and Phera wakes up the next day and looks out her window. Phera walks up to her lectern, but it cuts to black, and the video ends as it shows we got ending number 3 out of 4 possible endings. The description reads, "Tired of it. Just shut up. January 2026. It seems that Phera just straight up walked away from everything. Walked away from the battle, walked away from both the entities, and instead chose to go back home and sleep. I believe this could be seen as a neutral ending of sorts, where instead of choosing one or the other, Phera chooses herself, deciding to walk away from all this. It's a very interesting ending, one I honestly didn't see coming. There's 2 more endings that we can view, so let's do the one in red text. Putting it into a browser, we're taken to an unlisted video titled, Justice Served from an Unrighteous Hand. The video begins with what appears to be nearing the end of the battle between Phera and her entity counterpart. We see that Phera is being held up in the air, but the entity looks like it's been injured on the side. Both of them dissolve, and we see Phera, motionless on the ground, as we hear the entity speak.
The force is gone, the body is mine. Now I will do as I was made to, since God is too imperfect.
We then transition over to flashing police lights and sirens as we see a white outline, and then we hear a gunshot as everything goes black. The symbol entity appears, saying,
I'm sorry you had to feel so terribly, but I forgive you.
The video ends as we see that this is ending 2 of 4. The description for this one only lists the date, being January 2026, but it seems like this could be considered the bad ending. Phera appears to be killed by this entity as it's enacting its justice, and it sounds like it takes full control of her body. It's not too clear what exactly this entity does after this happens, but it must be something awful enough to warrant the police to arrive and open fire on it. The symbol entity that we see forgives Phera's failure, which makes this ending 2 out of 4. With this video now watched, I wonder if it's more likely that there's a split personality sort of thing going on here instead of a guilty conscience. This bunny entity here seems a bit too eager to enact its own sort of justice, and if it was a guilty conscience, I don't think it would take over Phera's body and do something to get the police involved. One other thing to note is that there's a strange caption of something the entity doesn't say, R8BS. That little extra caption piece did get me thinking about something. Where was the 4th ending? I didn't see any indication of it being inside any of the description of the videos. We never saw an extra YouTube URL anywhere. I even replayed the game that was in Phera's channel description, but there was nothing that immediately stuck out to me that would help lead me to finding the 4th ending. As I was close to giving up, there was one thing that I hadn't tried. One thing I did notice was that there were times in each of the endings that had black screens. As a last-ditch attempt, I took random screenshots of one of them, and it actually turned up something. It looked like letters and numbers of some kind. Wondering if the other videos had something similar, I went through all the black screens in the video, and I did actually find something. If we put the findings together, along with the extra caption piece we found, it gives us 11 characters, which should lead us to the final ending. However, we don't know the exact order of how these character fragments go, so after testing out a few different possibilities, we eventually land on the correct fragment order, which is on screen now. When we put this into a browser, we get our ending 4. It's a bit hard to describe, so let me just play the full video for you.
Bunny, 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 bunny. 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 Bunny, bunny, bunny.
Very interesting to say the least, but this ending is confirmed to be the 4th ending. The description also has Phera's name in there a bunch, and there's even a comment from Phera on this video which makes mention of all the art being done by Divinity_maybe, and with all the endings watched. I think I finally understand the full story. Phera encounters a strange bug inside of the Minecraft world as they play it sometime in January of 2024, with the bug being chunks slightly missing with dark patches in it. Phera seems to be recording the gameplay in order to show their friends so they can try to get some help from them, but they get frustrated by the bug happening in their game. Thyma, the mentioned friend, seems to have an odd dynamic with Phera as a friend in early 2024. However, it seems that Thyma didn't think too highly of Phera, saying that she's greedy, rude, threatens people, gets what she wants all the time, egotistical, and even wishes death upon Thyma and others. Phera also seems to be spreading rumors, causing Thyma's friends to leave him. All of this could be early signs of the twisted justice personality inside of Phera starting to take shape, although Phera herself may not realize that another personality exists in her. Thyma leaves all this information inside of a Google Doc sheet sometime in February of 2024, along with screenshots of an odd Discord conversation between the two. This was a huge mistake, as on March 4th, 2024, Thyma tells us in the document that Phera found it, but doesn't seem angry about it anymore, saying that Phera wants to hang out with Thyma. In the Discord messages that we see, Phera seems upset by potential rumors that Thyma was spreading, but Thyma just seems confused, wondering if Phera's rage was from them not knowing how to fix their Minecraft. Phera calms down, then the two make plans to meet up and talk, and Thyma says they'll update the document afterwards. However, the document would never be updated, as Phera, or rather Phera's split personality, being the twisted justice personality, committed the unthinkable that day, killing Thyma and eating their guts. Before this, Phera had a dream of the symbol entity saying that the bell tolls for thee, potentially foreshadowing this horrific event, as well as everything that was to come afterwards. A good amount of time passes since this, and the next time Phera plays Minecraft is on December of 2025, almost 2 years later. But when they come back, Phera's arm gets ripped off, most likely by a physical manifestation of the twisted justice personality. But after stumbling onto a strange structure, Phera is gifted a new arm by the symbol entity, who does seem like they want to help Phera despite what she did to Thyma. After being given the new arm, she enters the strangely generated world in search of something, but it's not too clear what exactly she's supposed to find. Finally, after blindly wandering for a long time, they finally find what they're supposed to be looking for: the physical manifestation of their twisted justice personality. Everything starts to make sense to Phera, and the symbol entity seems to want Phera to defeat it. Based on the 4 endings we see, it seems to be up to the viewer how the ending of this story goes. If you believe in a good ending, Phera defeats this twisted justice personality and is able to receive praise, love, and forgiveness from the symbol entity, which could be her way of being able to forgive herself of what she had done. If you believe in a neutral ending, instead of Phera fighting, Phera chooses herself and walks away from the fight. She heads home and seems to continue on playing Minecraft despite everything that's happened. If you believe in a darker ending, Phera loses the fight to her twisted justice personality, and it seems to take over Phera. This personality then does something so horrible that it results in the involvement of the police and having to use lethal force to take it down. If you believe in a funny fourth wall breaking ending, we see that it's all just a made-up story by an energetic creator as they place all of the art on screen for us to see. As I'm someone who tries to go for better endings to these sorts of stories, I personally want to believe that either the good or neutral ending could work, with the good ending being the most likely outcome for a positive ending. No matter what ending you choose, this is the story of someone who is struggling to forgive themselves for an absolutely heinous act that many would agree deserves some form of punishment, even with it potentially being up for debate as to whether it was actually their fault or not. They turn to a higher power for potential forgiveness and love, despite being hunted down by the evil inside of them that they seem to not even be fully aware of until it's time to confront that evil. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This was an interesting one to cover, and being able to choose the ending for what you think is best was an awesome addition. Let me know down below which ending you chose and why, as I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, comment down below, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an upload like this one. My name is RespawnRaccoon, and I'll see you in the next one.